Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 4 of this awesome casino source code event. Today we're going to be talking about ease of entry casino games. What I mean by that is games that are very, very easy to understand. And we're going to walk through some cool examples. I think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this. So welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it. I know, 4 days in a row is you might start seeing this and be like, all right, I get it, but there's definitely a lot of value in this. So I really, really appreciate you guys coming out here. And most importantly, shout out to everyone who bought the Let It Ride, the Let It Red code, whatever you want to call it. Awesome response. I'm really excited to start to see some people that are starting to understand what it means to build a portfolio and the opportunity that this event's going to give them. So I'm really excited to see that. It's really cool. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about ease of entry, like I said, and we're going to go through what that means exactly. We're going to talk about exact action items you can take on new codes or existing stuff that you already have, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to talk about an actual source code sale that we have here. So what I want to kick off with, and maybe if you guys have seen this, the movie Vegas Vacation. And if you haven't, it's amazing. I would definitely recommend watching it whenever you have free time for a good laugh. And what happens in Vegas Vacation, at the end of it, this is not a spoiler, Clark and his, I think it's like his cousin or whatever the guy's name is, they go into this kind of off the beaten path casino, and they see it's all the games are things like rock, paper, scissors, or rock, scissors, paper, pick a number between 1 and 10, war, things like that. It's an amazing scene. You'll really like it. And it's kind of a hokey thing. It's kind of a play on, making fun of Vegas a little bit, making fun of these games as like, oh, anyone can do this type of thing. But what's interesting is that this is actually very true about the casino industry, and I want to talk about that for a second. So when you think about the new casino hubs, and obviously these are not, quote unquote new, but they've kind of emerged over the last 40, 50 years, and it's kind of come out of new places in conjunction with Vegas. And I'm always going to come back to Las Vegas because that's just kind of where it all that's where like a majority of the money goes through, in the USA at least. And you look at places like Reno, which actually has a very long history, and Atlantic City, and then you have smaller towns and reservations, which have obviously different legality restrictions and allow them to build those. But you start to see these places outside of Vegas, right? And the reason they've started to emerge is that they appeal to a different demographic than what Vegas did. And this is kind of a chicken and egg type of situation, because Vegas over the last 20 years started to really rebrand themselves. And a lot of this is because of Steve Wynn and the way he came in and was like, I'm going to turn this into nightclubs. We're going to have this whole kind of chic experience, and we're going to move away from this old West gambling experience and into a full, you can come see Cirque du Soleil and get a world-class dinner and go to like the hottest, coolest clubs in the world, and you're going to play it's just like really awesome entertainment. But that's not for everyone, right? Like there's what we call a slower demographic, which wants to go and sit down and maybe have a few drinks and get a buffet dinner and play something that's not quite as intense as that. And that's totally cool, and that's actually been a bigger appeal for a lot of these smaller casinos. And if you ever go to a casino in a smaller town, I think it's actually really good to go see this if you're building casino games, because you'll notice that it's not a lot of a high energy. It's actually catered to a much lower energy demographic. And that's what happens when they, as Vegas kind of took one path, this whole opportunity opened up with these other casinos. So we're going to bring back my buddy Sam over here from the casino movies. Now what happens is that they saw this kind of trend happening, and this is happening right now, and what they realized is that they want to implement these newer games that are easy to understand. Right? Like there are a million ways to bet money, but they don't necessarily have to be like, all right, come in here and you're going to play high stakes blackjack and $50 minimum bid and blah blah blah. They realize that as these audiences start to kind of segment, that there's a whole opportunity to really create easy ways to gamble and be entertained. With very simple games. But the thing is that they need to be rebranded, right? Like you can't go in and be like, hey, play rock, paper, scissors, because people are going to be like, oh, that's not, I get that. That's not very exciting. What about that's going to get me going? And so what they did, and what you start to see on casinos, this is a screenshot from Foxwoods. And if you don't know Foxwoods, it's the biggest casino in the world. It's actually a pretty, structurally, it's unbelievable. It's like on a huge compound. It's in Connecticut. It's a crazy place. If you're ever in the Northeast, I would definitely recommend going there just to see the scale of this place. It's crazy. But what they did on their website, which was really interesting, and I wanted to point this out, is they took 3 games that are unbelievably easy and boring. And actually, goes back to early days of casinos, way back. Like these are some of the simplest games that started it all. And what they did is they brought it back, but they rebranded it, right? Like so, Casino War. And if you expand these on the website, it shows you like, okay, they have this awesome description. It shows you like this amazing gameplay and all that. But Casino War is Casino War. It's like, is my card higher or lower than yours? Like whoever it is wins. Or if it ties, you go to war. In between, that's just like, is my card in between or outside of the cards that you draw? And finally, the money wheel is like, spin the wheel, make a bet. Like those, I mean, that's it. Like, but they spend all this money on the copywriting and this like beautiful design and making an experience, but it appeals to a very particular audience of people that are saying, okay, like I get it, and because I get it, I am more willing to play. Like I don't necessarily need to know what 7-card stud Caribbean poker blah 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 is. Like if there's a learning curve, I'm not going to go and play it. That's what the average person's thinking. But if you do learn it, like you can go and it's like those niche games, like that can appeal to a very specific audience. This is about people who just want to go in and they just want to have a little bit of fun and say like, oh, I get it. Okay, I can download this, no problem. And so as casinos went online, this continued. We talked a little bit about how the tech and the computers started to make casinos online. And now whenever you go through some of these sites, like here's a screenshot of one, for example, you're going to see games like, here's a good example, high or low. Like you literally pick, it's like, is my card going to be higher or lower than yours? And it's all just based on what you do. So what they do is like they easily explain the game to people. When you click on the how to play, it's very straightforward. It's like step 1, pick a card. Step 2, pick if it's higher or lower, and that's it. Right? So like this can appeal to anyone. I mean, and the best example I can give you is think about scratch tickets. Like you don't have to, when you go and you buy a scratch ticket or you see people buying scratch tickets, obviously there's going to be a core demographic of people that play scratch tickets for entertainment. Like that's a given. But I'm definitely guilty of this. I would say a majority of my friends are people I know. I mean, you every once in a while, you're just going to go in and be like, I know how this works. It's super easy. All I got to do is scratch the ticket. Like, I'm going to buy one. Like, I'm not a casino player necessarily, but I still, like, I get scratch tickets, so there's a huge audience for it, and that's why it can be so successful. So I think that's a really good example to help illustrate this point. So what you can do, we have this idea of creating games that like anyone can play and anyone can understand, even if they're not necessarily casino customers. And how can you use that psychology and those tricks to really appeal to a bigger demographic from a marketing standpoint? So what I would definitely recommend is using the description to your advantage. Now, historically, and this is not just casino, this is just in general, like people write off descriptions because they don't necessarily get weighted as much in algorithms. Now, that's definitely true in Apple. In Google, it's a little bit different because there's a little bit of they get picked up on keywords if you include different things 5 times and blah, blah, blah. But it's nothing, like nowhere near as powerful as a title. So people, you'll typically write a description and be like, all right, I got a description in there, that's great. But they don't think about like how important that can be, how great that copy. People do read that type of thing. And that can be a huge way to get people to convert it and to download your game, because all of a sudden they understand the ease of your gameplay. They realize that, oh, like this is really easy to play. I can just download this and play immediately. I get it. Like that's a huge barrier to entry. And all of a sudden, like they're going to download it. The other thing I'm going to recommend, and I absolutely do not recommend, I will never support plagiarizing or stealing, words from people, because, you just can't do that. But what I will say is there are thousands of games already out there online that are very simple, right? Like you should be going out and seeing how they sell very easy gameplay. How are they describing the function of the game? How are they catering to people that aren't necessarily casino players, just anyone who wants to have a little bit of fun and saying like, this is how easy this game is. So if you go out and you Google and you say, all right, I'm going to check out a HiLo game, or I'm going to check out a spin the wheel game or in between game or whatever, go through 20 or 30 websites and see how they're writing their descriptions. And you're going to get some really good ideas of how you can incorporate that into your own casino games, whether it's the codes you get on this event or just codes you have in general or any apps you have already in your own portfolios. it's very helpful to see that, because it's going to help you show you how to include all this thing. Because when you have a game that has easy gameplay, it's already, it is easy to play, and then you use clear instructions in the description, and you do a great job introducing that, all of a sudden you have what's called mass appeal. You can appeal to virtually anybody, not just the casino world, and people will get it, and you can get downloads. And that's an incredible marketing tactic that people use, and that a lot of people don't do, is they get so concerned about how do I capitalize just on casino players, they forget to realize, well, if I can just show the appeal, I can get people to come in and have casino-like behavior, which is awesome. That's kind of the best of both worlds. And this is exactly why we built the HiLo casino game. This is why we built the app. Obviously, we build it on all 3 platforms. That's kind of a consistent theme here, because we designed it to appeal to a wider audience. We wanted to be able to go and say, okay, not only do we have a great casino design and layout and portfolio built, but now we have something we can actually test and get to wider audiences and appeal to more people. And what I do like about this is that you can reskin this a million different ways, right? Like, think about not only the themes, but the bonuses, and how you can think of anything where the dealer picks something and all you have to do is it higher or lower, or is it more or is it less, right? Like, think about, I don't know, like, are there more French fries in this one than in that one? Or is the, anything. Like, is there more cars or is less cars? Like, whatever it is, you can bake that using this framework and that technology. You can put it right on the cards, or you can actually just redo the design to cater to what you want. And it's still going to convert casino traffic, because people who download it, they like that idea of entertainment. They like the idea of not knowing what's going to happen, and if they're right, they get rewarded for it. That's what a casino psychology is all about. So when we put this on the site, it's going to be $299, which is a great price because you get all 3 platforms ready to go. It's all optimized, and this code is so much flexibility and versatility. But obviously, because we're doing this crazy casino event, you can get it today for $119, which is 70% off, if my math is correct. So, I mean, that's pretty sweet. This is a great one for your portfolio because you have so many options. You can appeal to so many people with it. You can take it any which way you want. It's like perfect for reskinning in that sense. And this will be available for 24 hours at this price for $119. Who knows when we'll put it back up on the site, but it definitely will. It'll be $299. It won't be anywhere near $119. And we built it so easy that a caveman could do it. I had to put it in there. I just thought that would be a good one. And guys, remember, it always is a 14-day money-back guarantee. I just want to remind you of that. No risk. Definitely, I want you guys to be pumped about this. And realize that 70% of your ROI potential goes way up. We're building a holiday portfolio. We're getting these things in super cheap. And the whole idea is that you're going to have a big ROI going into the holidays. That's why we're pricing these so aggressively. So click on the button below. Like, add this to your portfolio. This is going to be a great one. I'm really excited about this because I think it's going to give you guys so much flexibility and so much growth potential. And tomorrow what we're going to talk about is hot games with low competition, right? Kind of the sweet spot that a lot of people aren't capitalizing on. We're going to talk about this. It's going to be really, really fun to talk about. I got some cool examples for you. In the meantime, check out this code. Click below. Put it in your portfolio. It's going to be a great one. And I'm really excited about it. So guys, thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it. You can see the clock, the ticker above to see how much time you got left. And then this goes away. But in the meantime, I will talk to you soon. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.